there. Today is Saturday, November 1st, and it's a nice night. Um, I'm working on a new project, and I got a lot done recently, and I hope you're having a good night or day wherever you are. I'm T. Waldron. This is my cat Pumpkin. She is 16 and 11 twelfths. Or maybe she's 23 24ths. She's going to be 17 in 2 weeks. So that's pretty exciting. You're almost 17. How does that feel? She's purring. So she feels pretty good about that, I think. If you're just joining, my goal in life is to be my best self on all levels, and I'm here to share with you the different things that I learn along the way. I'm going to go within right now and take a few deep breaths and just take a few minutes for me. And if you want to join me, you can just close your eyes and go within. So we're going to inhale through our nose and exhale through our mouth. We're doing some deep breaths, going within. And I want you to think about something to be grateful for that's in the room where you are right now. It could be your breath, the air. It could be your glass of water. It could be yourself. It could be your cat or your other cat. But if you can, close your eyes and take a few breaths with me. Inhale and exhale. And inhale. And we're slowing our breath down, trying to have our exhale a little bit longer than the inhale. Inhale and hold it. And exhale. And as we inhale that beautiful clean air, we're just imagining that it's going to all of our cells, that oxygen is healing ourselves and our cells. And we're exhaling any tension, any stress, any negativity we've got. It doesn't belong to you. You can let it go. And if you just stumbled on this channel, welcome. We're doing a few deep breaths and then we'll get into the chat. And inhale. And exhale. All right. Very good. Okay, so welcome. If you're just joining us, excellent. Welcome to the chat. I want to thank our moderator, Imran Hossain. He does a great job moderating our chat. And thank you for respecting the deep breathing. Okay, you can pray to whoever you'd like. Yeah, I don't know anything about Loki. I'm imagining you're from, I don't know, is it Sweden or Denmark? Who knows? God bless you. Thank you so much, Luga. Welcome. So, and I want to thank our moderator, Imran Hossain. He is a fantastic SEO YouTube specialist. He took my channel from probably like 100 subscribers to over 3,000. So he does a great job optimizing the search engines and creating the thumbnails for us. And I want to thank you for being here with us, Imran, and keeping our chat positive and clean. Iceland, thank you so much. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Well, welcome. It's good to see you. Okay, we're from the East Coast of the US. And again, I'm T. Waldron. If you just joined us, this is my cat Pumpkin. She'll be 17 in 2 weeks. Right, Pumpkin? Yeah, she's purring loudly here. So I'm working on a new project. Oh, happy birthday, Henry. Excellent. Hey, Toxic, welcome. Welcome back, Toxic. My father-in-law. You're so funny. Yeah, happy birthday. Thanks for joining us. That's really an honor. I appreciate that. I love birthdays because it's like a good time to see where you are in life and what you want to do for the next year and how far you've come in your life. So it's pretty exciting. I'm starting to say I'm working on a new project with someone who is just an incredible person. It's a series of interviews, which I'm not going to say who it is yet. But he's had like, I don't know, between 2 and 4 books on the New York Times bestseller list. And he's probably written maybe 30 of them. But just a fascinating person. I've been interviewing him over the past few months, and I'm putting together a series of interviews. I'm putting them out in sort of a theme, and so I'm editing them, and that's where we're at now, is in the editing process. It's takes a long time, but it's good. It's worth it. I'm also editing a series of interviews with a police officer that wrote the book The Thin Blue Lie. So I've got 2 of those out already, and I have to do on this other project though because it's time dependent. But these are some of the things we've been talking about, and I want to see what you think. Yeah. Thank you so much. Hi, Graham Burns. Welcome. Hey, Henry. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Francis. Okay. Pumpkin, they said you're the best in show cat. Are you a show cat? She's too good for that. She wouldn't waste her time with that. Anyway, so these are some pretty interesting concepts that I want to share with you. And we're talking about, like, the first few interviews were how he grew up, and his parents were really wise. So I'm curious. I'm kind of putting it out there to you. Did your parents have any words of wisdom when you were little? Serious or joking? Oh, thank you so much for watching the streams. I appreciate that. Yeah. She is going to be 17 in, I don't know, 2 weeks. So she's priceless. But it was funny. I adopted her. I used to work in assisted living with senior citizens. And when her owner passed away, I was not first in line. There were probably 6 to 10 more people in front of me. And I just said, okay, I'm not going to be able to adopt her. And then the sister called me up of the fellow that passed. And she was like, hey, can you still take Pumpkin? I'm like, absolutely. So here we are. I'd known her for years, and then I got to adopt her. Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you're kidding. Hi, Matt. Welcome. Hey, Matthew. Welcome. Yeah. So do you have any advice from your parents? So this person's parents gave them great advice, although at the time he was really, he didn't want this kind of advice. It was I think 3 general things. One of them was, when something bad would happen, he would come home and say, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe what happened to me at school today. This, and this happened. And he was having a bad time, and he just wanted some words of encouragement. And his parents and grandparents also lived in the same house, and they would say, something good will come of this. God is redirecting you. Now, that's super wise. And like, I'm at that point now where I believe that, but can you imagine hearing that like as a 5-year-old or 7-year-old kid? Not what you want to hear, right? Well, I'm not sure what you're saying. Is that German? Amit? Oh yeah, Pumpkin always has this face. This is her expression. She looks either angry or sad or mad, but that's just her face. She's actually purring. So I think that means she's happy. Thanks for asking though. Everybody's concerned about Pumpkin. I had another fellow who used to tune in and say, did you feed your cat yet? She's good. She is good. She loves to come here for the lives. She's here for you guys. Hi Rod, welcome. Yeah, so that was the advice. Something good will come of this. God is redirecting you. Can you imagine having that your parents tell you that if you're like 6 or 7 years old? It's very wise, and I'm sure I believe that it's true, but that's not what a kid wants to hear, right? So he used to tell me he would be very frustrated. And then another thing his parents would say was, there were 3 basic things. Oh, he would say, well, what should I do with my life? You know, like he was a teenager, you know, and he was saying, you know, what direction should I take? And his father had a really good job. He could have gotten him a very good job at a company. I think it was American Broadcasting Company, ABC, and they were tied in with Paramount Pictures. So at the time, he could have and he was vice president. His dad was vice president of this company. So he could have gotten him a really cushy job. And instead of saying, go into business with me, I'll pave the way for you, nepotism, I'll get you a good job. He said, do what makes you happy. He said, open your door and look out there, and there's people, and see how you can help people. Isn't that beautiful? What a message. And that's so different than a lot of parents. You know, I don't know any other parents really that would say that. Do what makes you happy. That was the second thing. And then the third thing was, open the door and look at the people and help them. Wow, what beautiful advice, and very wise and kind. So anyway, this person went on to do some great things. So I can't wait to share with you this interview with him. Yeah. Oh, Henry, it's your birthday, so 6-7. I hear ya. Yeah, I do play the guitar, but I'm not gonna play it tonight. Oh, that's a good one. Whatever you hide in the dark, it always comes to light. That's so true. Okay, do you want to jump? Okay, she's gonna jump. Go ahead, jump. I can't believe she's 16 and 23 24ths. she's almost 17. Isn't it funny when people or animals are really young or really old, you use the fractions. You know, when you were a kid, you say, I'm 6.5. And when you're older, I know older folks that say they're fractions. Yeah, but that's cool. Whatever you hide in the dark always comes to light. That's like the truth always comes out. I love that. And it's so true. Let's see, what else did we talk about? I'm trying to share some things that I found interesting. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is interesting. He said his parents didn't give him answers, they made him think. I think that's pretty cool. That's a good set of parents. I wasn't that wise. I was always trying to help my kids out and give them the answers. Oh, yeah. Hola. Hi, Stitch. Welcome. Yeah, and then like I said, the other thing his parents said was do what makes you happy. And then we're working on a project together, and he told me to ask people, what do you want to do when you grow up? Are you doing what you want to do? Are you doing what makes your heart happy? Or are you doing your job? Which I had a job for 18 years that it made me happy. It was good. But now I'm going to school full time. I'm studying to be a metaphysician, and I really I'm super passionate about it. Like it's amazing to do what you've always dreamed of. I saved up, I quit my job, and now I'm a full-time student for now. And I picked up some other jobs though, because I realized I need some kind of income. So I'm still teaching to seniors. I get to teach Tai Chi to them. And I just picked up one of those classes where you have to Google it. Look up laundry baskets and yoga balls and drumming. So I'm going to do a drumming class. I'm going to figure out how to teach that and start teaching that in a little while. So that's going to be cool. Yeah. So, hi Jay Fish. Welcome. Hi Rudy. Welcome. Yeah. So, I think that's awesome. His parents said, "Do what makes you happy." So that's great advice to give your kid, right? Beautiful. And then also, I'm asking you guys, are you doing what makes you happy? Like, are you in a job or a career or something that brings you joy? And you could be doing something, maybe it's not what you thought you'd be doing, but as long as you can find some joy in it, then that's great, Or is there something you want to, maybe start a side hustle and then go towards a different direction? Maybe it's art, maybe it's music. Maybe it's consulting, I'm going to be doing life coaching, so stuff like that. So think about it. See what makes you happy, and then see if there's a way you can morph into that. If you're not already doing it, maybe you're doing it. And that's great. Yeah. Oh, your little brother. Okay. So let's see what else. Oh, he also said, some people feel responsible, so he was a doctor. So he said some people feel responsible or like they're being blamed that they got ill. And that's not the case at all. But a lot of times he found that it was very psychological. He worked with people with cancer. So it was shocking for him to see the way people responded when they found out they had cancer. So some people would say, oh, this is it, and this was bound to happen, woe is me, why me? And then other people would say, this is a wake-up call. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to go and, do that thing I wanted to do. I'm going to go and, try something in my life that I want to do. Here's the example. I'm going to get married. I'm going to get divorced. I'm going to move. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to start my job, whatever. The people that changed because of the diagnosis, generally, and not in every case, but generally he found, outlived their diagnosis. They were supposed to die in, X amount of time, and then they didn't. He told me a story about this one woman, and these are all documented. It's pretty amazing. And she had 4 little girls. She was young. So she was probably in her 20s, I would guess. And she had 4 little girls, like 4, 5, 6, young. And she said, I'm not going to die until every single one of my kids is married and out of the house. And she was very advanced in her disease. She wasn't supposed to live for more than a couple of months. And all the other doctors said, no, you're not going to make it. You're going to die in a couple of months. And Bernie, the person I'm interviewing, said, okay, all right, I'll go with you on that. And he backed her up, and he supported her in her vision. And she did. They all got married. They were like 20 something when they got married. She lasted 20 years, and she was supposed to die in 2 months. So it's pretty shocking how our minds can change our body chemistry, right? Yeah. Bucket list, absolutely. Yeah, it's great to have a bucket list. What's on everybody's bucket list? Anything fun? Yeah, you should never make fun of someone. That's so true. Yeah. No, it's true. I think that kind of goes along with one of my beliefs, is what you put out there comes back to you. And I think that's in the Kabbalion too. So I just wanted to share that with you. I thought that was pretty interesting stuff. And then also another thing I wanted to share with you guys. This week I'm doing another talk on the Knights of the Templar. And I speak to seniors, so I had to they wanted to hear this. So I researched it, and they're fascinating. Have you guys ever heard of them? And do you know anything about them? I'm curious if you want to know more. Yeah. Pretty interesting. Let's see. Yeah, and then we spoke about, oh, thanks for the hearts. Oh, Clint, that's so cool. I want to run away with a carnival. I used to want to do that when I was younger. I didn't, really didn't know what that was about. But anyway, I was like, yeah, that'd be so cool to go to, go be in the carnival or with the carnival. Yeah. That's pretty neat. Oh, thank you, Natalie. Her name is Pumpkin. She's 16 and 23 24th. She's going to be 17 in 2 weeks. Sorry, I can't be too quiet. Maybe turn your volume down. You're funny. I don't know if it's really your birthday, Henry. You seem like quite a joker. Thanks, Natalie. Pumpkin, you have a fan. Natalie says you're very cute. She knows. Hey, Rod. Hey, Jonathan, welcome. Yeah, so the other thing I was talking about with this, if you missed it, I was talking to a famous author this week and interviewing him. And he also said that he wrote these best-selling books, right? They were in the New York Times best-selling lists. And when he was in college, he was a doctor, a medical doctor, and actually a surgeon. And his lowest grades were in English and creative writing. And he's a best-selling author, right? So he said the reason why his writing was terrible in college was because he was using his analytical mind too much, and he was thinking too hard, and he wasn't going with the feeling and the stories. It was more about the technical perfection and the structure, and it wasn't so much the vibe and the story and the content and the overall message. Isn't that interesting? So, oh, thank you, Jess. Yeah, pincher, I'm not sure what that means. Anywho, so another thing he said that was pretty funny. So he became a best-selling author. He got like C's in college in his creative writing and English classes. I think C plus was the highest grade, sometimes lower. He said he got lower grades as well in writing. And so he, after he graduated and he was on the New York Times bestseller list, he wrote a letter to the college and he said, hey, can you bump up my grades in creative writing? Because I have these bestsellers on the New York Times list. And because he's like, they ruined my grade point average because I would have had high honors if it wasn't for them. And just as a joke. And they wrote back like a 12-page thing. We cannot change grades of people that have already graduated. And he was like, God, they didn't even have a sense of humor. He was just trying to make a joke and make them laugh. And they didn't think it was funny. So I just thought that was a cute story. So I'm not sure if we'll put that in the interviews because it was okay, but it wasn't that funny. It was a long story for not that much funniness. Right, Pumpkin? Go ahead, jump. You can do it. Come on. That always cracks me up. Good job. You're quite good for a 16 and 23, 24-year-old cat. You're very good at jumping. Go ahead, go back. Nope. Okay. I'm trying to think what else I wanted to tell you guys tonight. Yeah, I am trying to have my second wind in life. Actually, I'm trying to have my first wind. I didn't know what life was about until I was over 50. Yep, I'm 55. But yeah, I didn't know anything what life was about. Do you know what life is about? And if you did, how old were you when you figured it out? Because I'm still trying to figure it out. You know, it's like, yeah, I thought I knew what life was about. And that's part of what my channel is about, figuring out, getting to know myself, getting to love myself, reparenting my inner child, because, you know, I think a lot of us, like, I didn't know I was missing anything. I thought I had the house, I had the car, I had the kids, I had the beautiful family, the beautiful job, everything. I had everything that we're told that we need. And I still felt inadequate. I felt empty. I felt, you know, like this, like sadness in my heart, and I didn't know why. And then I started just getting to know myself, and that's what this channel is all about, is going within, like not trying to find happiness and peace externally, is to find it within yourself, within your soul. That's right. You know, and it's been a great journey, and that's why I call it a journey, because it's never going to be over. I'm going to keep doing it because I feel like there's always more to learn about ourselves, and we don't give ourselves enough time in this culture. We're taught to keep going, and doing and achieving and striving and gathering things and buying, and we're never taught to stop and appreciate and have gratitude and learn how to know and love ourselves. So yeah. Yeah, 41 was your wake-up call. That's awesome. Yeah. The guitar is well secured. I have it on a little hook up there. It's a special guitar hook that I put into I use the stud finder and I put it in the proper way. So yes, thank you for asking. Thanks for, a lot of people are worried about the guitar or the cat. Thanks, Richard. Let's see, Francis Mary. My piece is hard to find at the moment. Oh, I'm so sorry. I lost my, I'm so sorry. Wow. Well, you know what? I hope we can bring you a little bit of peace here and love. And I hope maybe this could be the start of looking within yourself to find the peace, because I couldn't find it externally. I mean, it was just, it's, if we don't have peace and love for ourselves, then we cannot expect anyone else to know or love us. You know, it's something that we're not, I don't know, I was never taught, and my mom was never taught, you know, my parents were never taught that. It's not something we talk about, but it's so important, and I think it's more prevalent in other cultures, but God bless you, you know, Francis. Yeah. Yeah, your life has changed immensely. Great. I mean, I'm imagining for the better, if you had an awakening. Um, and I was always upset, because I didn't start this, like I was always doing self-improvement stuff, but it was all surface stuff or business or um, I really wasn't getting to the heart of the problem or the my soul, right? I was, optimizing productivity and all kinds of stuff that we're taught to do, and we're like, oh, well, let me multitask and let me get more done and let me achieve more, and that's not what it's about. I mean, I'm still wanting to achieve certain things, but it's choosing where our attention goes, where our time goes, and where our energy goes. Because I've prioritized. My family's first. My health is first. My cats are. Certain things in life are very, very important. And if we spread all of our resources too much, then we're not effective. So it's great. I mean, I really love it. I don't feel lonely anymore. I used to feel lonely sometimes, even in a crowd, and now I know I've got my back. So even if I'm in a crowd, I'm like, I'm okay, I got this. And having that feeling is really beautiful, and it just gives me peace. So I don't know about you guys. Hey, Roman, welcome. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Clint. I appreciate that. Yeah. Oh no, I don't make fun of my personality. I joke around because, um, it doesn't. I did a video a while ago. What you think of me is none of my business. And then I booked 3 gigs talking about that. So I'm gonna go to different senior centers and assisted livings because they want to hear that. They want to hear about like why, like what. And a lot of it's similar to what Mel Robbins says in her book, her new book. So it's pretty interesting. Not worrying about what other people think. I mean, I have a motto: so what? Like if something happens, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, aside from serious things, but for the most part in life, we worry too much. Yes, whatever you put in your mind, you'll do. And that's a great point there, Henry. There's a book. I won't read it tonight, but it's Florence Scovel Shinn. She wrote this book, The Game of Life and How to Play It. And she also wrote another book, Your Word is Your Wand. Oh, thanks for the hearts. Yes, there's a Florence Scovel Shinn person out there. She's a metaphysician, and she wrote the book, The Game of Life and How to Play It 100 years ago. Go ahead, Pumpkin. You can do it. Oh, nope, she may be doing something else. I never know what she's going to do. But yeah, so she was a metaphysician who basically studied Hermetic law and lived it. And she had classes and she had clients, and she's kind of like my role model. And she wrote that book, The Game of Life and How to Play It. And it was just simple stories on how to navigate through life in the best possible way, like it's a game. And being kind to people, being kind to yourself, and being in your power. And it's so cool. So I share a lot. I did actually read the whole thing over probably a series of lives maybe 3 months ago. Yeah. Oh, how nice. Happy birthday. Bye, Henry. What is the absolute of reality? Ooh, we are non-absolute beings. We cannot sustain ourselves. So what is the absolute? Is the absolute something, a God, or sustain? Wait, hold on. Is the absolute something a God to sustain us, or absolute nothing, oblivion upon death? Oh, Mr. Moon, great questions. Wow. I believe we are pure consciousness, right? And I think the world is our projection. Like I'm studying metaphysics, so this is my working theory right now. It changes. Like I'll learn something new and I'll say, oh, maybe this is reality. I don't know. No one knows. But here's my working theory for the moment. right? That we are all our soul, right? And we are all part of source, which is, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. And it's good. And we are good. And we are eternal. And we are limitless. We're powerful. Um, we're part of the source, and we're all connected though. And I think that's something we miss a lot in our culture. Like, I think it exists more in, like, we studied cultures of Japan. They're more about community and thinking about the whole. Even they did some tests, and they showed different pictures. Okay. Oh, you're leaving? Okay. And they showed different pictures, and I think it was like butterflies, bees, I don't know, flowers, and the Americans sort of separated it from the type of insects, right? And then the folks, I think it was folks in Japan, separated it like that the insects, eat. Feed on the flowers, and then they create the honey, or so. I don't know. It was a very different way of thinking, and it kind of encapsulated how we are. We're very individualistic, and we're very, we want to be independent, and other cultures are more community based. So let's see how we're doing here. Hi, Ray. If anything is possible in life, we would not have any poverty. Oh, that's a great point, Ray. Yeah, there's a lot of difficult things in life. And one of the working theories is that we choose our lives. We choose our parents. We choose our life. We choose what we're born into, for contrast. And I know that's a hard, like, concept, I'm thinking about that now and seeing if maybe that works, and right now that's the concept I just recently learned, so I'm trying it out, kind of like when I find a new concept, I play with it for a while. I say, okay, let's suppose this is true. Let's operate as though this is true. And I think that's an interesting way to do it, rather than just, reading in the book going, oh, some people think that, okay, like, that doesn't sink in for me. Like, if I'm learning something, I try to apply it. I mean, I'm not going 100% into that, but I try to apply it and say, okay, if that were true, how would I be living my life? And how would that change things? And I mean, I'm trying to do that when I have difficulty. Like, if I have a challenge, I'm trying to think, okay, why is this brought into my life? What am I supposed to learn from it? And it's a gift. I'm trying to look at everything, even the flat tire I had the other day, like things that empirically seem negative. I'm trying to look at them as neutral and come up with a positive response to them. And I know that's, like, again, the opposite of what our analytical brain says. Our analytical brain is scanning for trouble and trying to figure out the worst case scenario and how we would react in order to protect us. It's doing its job, but it's trying to protect us, and it's looking for the worst case scenario and creating this fight or flight, like, I got to be ready, versus there's not really, I mean, in many times in our society, there's not as many things that we need to be, like, physically afraid of, at least in my life. Maybe I'm sure other people have other situations, but many of our lives, okay, we're not in a danger of being physically attacked at all times, like our ancestors were, per se. So our brain is still in that mode, of protecting us. And it looks at everything, your boss, your interaction with your coworker, your interaction with the person in front of you in line that's taking too long, whatever. That our brain looks at all of those situations as threats. So by changing our perception or perspective, we can have a better experience, if that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, I don't know if that didn't really answer your question, Ray. I don't have an answer to poverty, I'm sorry. Most of us settle into life, that's right, Clint, without ever reaching our fullest potential. Imagine if we could all accomplish our best life, what this world could be. Thank you, Clint. That's my point. Yes, yeah, because I mean, yeah, and you don't have to do it all at once. Like, I'm not saying everybody quit your job and do. I saved up for 2 years. And I got scholarships to go to these classes that's been my dream. I didn't just do it and it still felt like I was jumping off a cliff though. It still was really scary, but you know, figure out little ways you can make changes in your life if that's what you want to do. And if you don't, that's okay, you know, but I find that if you can be happy in what you're doing, whatever that is, even if you're, you know, if you have your job and you just do the best you can and you try to make your colleagues, your coworkers, the people you work with or for, you know, even your customers happy, then that's great. Hi, Carl. Welcome. Thank you so much. Hey, Roberto. Okay. Pierce, welcome. Walter Russell. Okay. Eric Butterworth. I don't know them. Hold on, let me take a screenshot. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's see what Mr. Moon says. For us to persist after death, there must be something absolute to sustain us. It's metaphysically impossible for us, a non-absolute being, to sustain ourselves. Meaning must be given, not I think we do have meaning. I think it's our soul. Do you believe we have a soul? I think everybody's got a soul. I think we have a soul. Our animals have a soul. I think there's even some possibility that some people think that even plants have a soul. I don't know. I'm still trying to work that one out. That's a big jump for me to get to that, but I'm not. There have been some studies that have been done, and I have to really get the details down before I talk about it because I don't want to put misinformation out there, but there have been some plants and some bacterias that have responded in a very peculiar way that kind of defies logic for me if we're thinking that animals and plants don't have a soul. So I don't know. I don't know that any of us know right now. And I think we often, and again, this is our analytical brain, it's doing its job, but we've been trained to focus on science and only empirical evidence that can be replicated. And, you know, for the longest time, scientists were looking in brains trying to figure out where the memory is located. Guess what? They still haven't found it. They have been looking for centuries where our memories are located. And they can't find it. They're in our soul, I think. There's no local place in our mind where our memories are located. So, I don't know. I think it's the soul. Hi, Clint. Sounds like the Nacho Libre movie. I don't believe in God. I believe in science. And yeah, you know what? Everybody believe in whatever you're going to believe in. But depending on what you mean by science, is that only physical matter? You know, is it like, once you're dead, that's the end? Because I don't believe that. I think that there's definitely, we are eternal. And there's that there. I don't know if you've ever looked into it, but there are some pretty compelling scientific situations that have been documented that prove that support the idea of like near-death experiences and people that, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff. I don't have it researched and written down, so I don't want to quote anything incorrectly. Yeah. Let's see. I'm not sure what you're saying no to, Piers. Hi, Suleiman. Hi, Totobi. Cheese is good. Cheese is good. That I can get behind. That's so true. God is science. Hello, New Jersey, Michael. Welcome. Yeah, no, you know what? I think, though, here's the thing. When Descartes separated science and religion, I don't know if that was a good... At the time, it worked. But I feel like, you know, Carl Jung brings it back together. So, I don't know. I think they're joined. I think they're together. Okay. I will look them up. I took a screenshot of those two authors. Thanks, Pierce. I wonder what era they were from. Hey, Alfonso, welcome. Mr. Moon, let's see. Christ is the only religion or God that could be true. Logically and historically, he is the only option. It is the absolute God sacrificing himself to bring unification to non-absolute being, us. Yes, okay, I hear you on that. I also feel that if you've ever, there's different interpretations of the Bible, okay? So some people are very much the fundamentalists who read it and say, okay, it says this happened in this many days and this is exactly what happened, and they read it word for word. And then there's other interpretations which use the Bible as allegory, which uses the Bible as stories, as lessons for us, which that interpretation resonates with me a lot more. I grew up, 12 years at Catholic school, and I, my uncle was a Catholic priest, and I was very much indoctrinated in that religion my entire life. And now I'm sort of, stepping back and really looking at it as a student, as a person who's reading about different science and metaphysical topics. And, I'm really stepping back from all of those definitions in some sense. And in some sense, I'm still agreeing with the idea, love your neighbor as yourself, love one another and love your neighbor as yourself. I mean, that resonates with me. Okay. And there's a lot of, pretty much this, Jesus was giving us how to live our lives. I think he was living by example. This is how we should treat each other. This is how we should treat ourselves. And I think a lot of people have gone very, very far just worshiping him. And I don't know if that was his intention. I mean, he never said, worship me, So where do we get that from? I'm just wondering. So read the message, The Divine Iliad by Walter Russell. All right, I'll check it out. I won't check it out for the next few months, though. I've got a lot of projects due for school first. I'm not sure what that is, Jonas, but welcome. If we suspect nothing is the absolute of reality, why do we remain as something? Survive for what? Suspecting nothing while refusing to become nothing is deception. Surrender to Christ or nothing. Well, I don't think we're nothing. I think what we're doing is very important. I think what we're doing is striving to know ourselves and become I'm striving to become my best self. And in doing so, I'm educating myself and helping others and changing. I'm trying to change the things I can change within my sphere of influence for the better, helping people or being a friend to somebody or accepting friendship. There's so many things we can do in our lives, but also we have to take action. So I think that's, for me, that's been the key to being my best self, is taking action, not just thank you for the hearts. I'm like, anybody else? Okay, that's thank you. Because taking action is how we change, is how we grow. And I think there's something noble in just quietly going about your life. You don't have to be like out on the internet. Like I would never was on social media before this, but I just felt a calling to share this journey of what I'm doing, because I just felt like this is important stuff, and I didn't really see anybody else doing this sort of thing, like, hey, my life's kind of a mess, and here's what I'm doing to learn and figure out how to change it. And does this resonate with anybody? And here we are. But yeah, I don't know. I think taking action on things you're passionate about and that you care about and that you think are helping other people, I think that's how we can get to know ourselves the best and quickest, and also to help others, right? What was I doing in 1988? Great question. Oh, I was in high school. I went to an all-girls high school. It was so boring. There was nothing to do but learn. Hi, we got a fish, dude. That's a great handle. Hysterical. They both talk about universal law and metaphysics. Cool. I love that. Yeah. And the Kabbalion. I love that. That's been interesting. Favorite place for a chicken sandwich? I don't know, Raphael. That's funny. Carl Butcher. If you're serious about studying metaphysics, then you must. Okay, I'll check it out. I'll check out the Walter Russell books. Thank you. Yeah, presentation is important. That's true. I'm not sure what you're referring to, though. But yeah, I don't know. I hope that gives you something to think about. I'll check those books out. Imagine holding a blue balloon that represents your life. You have life and meaning as long as you hold on to it. Once you let go, where does your life or meaning go? Christ or oblivion, who can catch it? Wow. Man, this is deep, Mr. Moon. I don't know. I feel that if you try to hold on to things too tightly, you're changing them. I mean, that's one of the things in quantum physics is the observer effect. You know, when particles are happening and waves are doing their thing, and when we start observing them, the observer effect, it changes them, and then they're completely changed, and they change their behavior, which is pretty wild. Like, why? How? How is that even a thing? And it's true. Like, there's experiments that prove that. Thank you, Matthew and Carl. Yeah, Jesus was homeless. Yeah, he was humble, sure. But anyway, I don't know. It's been an interesting conversation tonight. But I think I want to leave you with, you know, I challenge you to maybe start, like we all, and we've all done it, is we're focused on our analytical mind, on the science, and science is great, and it's got its place, but I think there's a balance to be had between our analytical mind and then our creative, our emotional, our higher mind, and to find that balance and to have them work together, you know, and then we could be our best selves. Because if we focus too much on one or the other, we're imbalanced. Yeah. Hey, Kingsman, welcome back. It's good to see you. I will end up reading you something from Florence Scovel Shinn because I love her so much. So this chapter is, I give unto you power. God's gift to us is power and domain over all created things, our mind, our body, and affairs. All unhappiness comes from lack of power. That's so true. When we feel powerless, if we feel like a victim, right? That feels terrible. We imagine ourselves weak and the victim of circumstances, claiming that conditions over which we have no control caused our defeat. People by themselves are indeed victims of circumstances, but if we're linked with God power, all things are possible. Through a knowledge of metaphysics, we are discovering how this can be done. By your word, you can contact this power. Then miraculously, every burden is lifted, every battle is won. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Watch your words with diligence. You are continually reaping the fruit of your words. Overcoming means to conquer all doubts, fears, and negative vibrations. One person with perfect peace and poise, filled with love and goodwill, could dissolve all negative vibrations. They would melt away like snow under the sun. And she's quoting Jesus here. Jesus said, all power is given unto me to bring heaven upon earth. Let us give thanks that this is now coming to pass, for evil is unreal and leaves no stain. The God power is within you, your superconscious mind. It is the realm of inspiration, revelation, and illumination. It is the realm of miracles and wonders. So I just want to leave you with that. So thank you all. And let me just check this last bit of chat. Law of balance. Thank you, Pierce. I'll check it out. Welcome. Oh yeah. Good to see. I like, how do I know that guy? Star Trek Mark. Nice to see you again. Walter Russell wrote The Secret of Light. Cool. I can't wait to check it. I won't get to read it though till like the new year. I've got like so many deadlines, but thank you. I'll check it out eventually. How old is the planet? It's not applicable. I don't know. But anyway, thank you everybody. I hope you have and thank you Imran Hossain for a wonderful moderating tonight as always. For myself to yourself, thank you for joining me on this journey, and good night from both of my sleeping cats over there. Thank you so much for great chat, everybody. Thanks, Wilbur. Bye-bye, everybody. See you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Bye. And thank you. Great chat.